Okay.
We're going to call the December 15th, 2025 Maumee City Council meeting to order. It is 6:15 p.m. Let's call the roll.
Fiskus? Harris?
Yes.
Kurt?
Yes.
Leinbach?
Yes.
Puffenberger?
Yes.
Barrow?
Yes.
Let's stand for the pledge.
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next we have Committee of the Whole. That's for the purpose of discussion of items on the agenda. First, we're going to hear from Amy Mendelson, and let's see if I can say it, to discuss the 250th semi-quincentennial Planning Committee events to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence.
Thank you very much. And a fun thing to do, not only say it, be able to pronounce it, is to be able to spell it. I quiz my kids quite frequently, and they have told me to stop now. So, but anyways, thank you, Madam Mayor, members of City Council, and all of those who are present this evening. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak with you and talk a little bit about the Maumee 250th celebration starting next month in January 2026. You should have received a printed brochure. I had some passed out to the audience. If you did not receive one, you can go to the Walcott House website. Under events, there is a QR code, and you can access it that way. It's truly been a privilege to work alongside my committee members as we were planning these events. I need to thank Kristen Meyer from the Maumee Chambers of Commerce, Dr. Jamie Narragon from Maumee City Schools, Nancy Sayer from Maumee City Schools, Nancy Gagne representing the city of Maumee, Sarah Eden from the Maumee Indoor Theater, and Katie Pate from the Historical Society. We all worked together for about the last year, meeting monthly, putting these events together. I could not have done it without this team, without their hard work, and I truly appreciate every single one of them. They are not done yet. I am making them stay on every month to help me put this on. So I thank you for all the work they have done and all the work they have yet to do to actually make this happen. Also want to thank some of the organizations in Maumee that have helped put this together, the Exchange Club, the Quality of Life Club. Their institutional memory has been so important. Many of those were able to tell me some of the things that happened 50 years ago in the 76. Some of them actually sat on the committee that worked on that. So it was wonderful to have their institutional memories and to share with me some of the things that they've done. So that was great. I would like to draw your attention to the brochure to the second page. On the second page, you'll see a special thank you to Jack Hiles. If you don't know Jack Hiles, he was known as Mr. Maumee. He is one of the primary reasons we actually have so much, and we know so much about Maumee history. He started collecting Maumee memorabilia 70 years ago. And we owe such a debt to him because of what he has been able to collect. He started the Maumee Memorabilia Museum out of his garage. There's many stories of people just showing up to his house, including on Christmas Day, knocking on his door and asking to actually see the memorabilia he had, and him letting them in and giving tours of his garage that housed thousands of items. Now we have close to 50,000 items, all dealing with Maumee, from Anderson's aprons to the glass pipes from the Maumee Glass Works that used to be situated in downtown. So we have quite a few artifacts because of Jack. And so we wanted to honor his memory because if Jack was still with us, he would be chairing this committee and not me. So I know I've had very big shoes to fill the last year. And so we just wanted to kind of give a special shout out to Jack because he really has been the one keeping Maumee's memory alive. And we are very grateful to him and his family who still actually run that museum for us. The Jack Hiles Maumee Memorabilia Museum sits on the grounds of the Walcott House. It's open seasonally, May through December, or by appointment. And so I really encourage people to get out there and to discover part of our city that maybe you don't know that is actually out there. The brochure that I handed out has activities that go for every month of the year. Our first kickoff event is January 11th from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock. It is in conjunction with Maumee City Schools. It's a spoken history event, and it will showcase well-known people from Maumee, also the everyday citizens who truly make our city great. And so this event, like all of our events, will be free to the public. We will have light refreshments. We will have memorabilia from the Maumee Memorabilia Museum having to do with Maumee City Schools, including some of your yearbook photos. Just warning you right now, we have yearbooks from every year. Maumee City Schools has been open, and we will be showcasing some of those. So just letting you all know that. So that will be our kickoff event in January. We hope to see people come to this and learn a little bit about the citizens here in Maumee. In March, we're going to participate in Ohio Goes to the Movie. This will celebrate our historic theater. We are not yet permitted to share the title of the movie or the date. That is from the Ohio 250 Committee. They are saying in the beginning of January we should be allowed to share that. So more information on that is coming. But it will be a movie that was either filmed here or based out of Ohio. We will have historical attire from that period, from our collection. Again, it will be free to the public. We will have refreshments as well. And it will really just be a nice chance to showcase our theater. We will have people from the Ohio Committee and hopefully from the National Committee attend as well in March. So hopefully people can attend there. In May, we'll be hosting a Riverside Veteran Preservation Project. We're going to be setting up volunteer teams to help clean and care for the graves of our veterans buried at Riverside Cemetery. We chose Riverside Cemetery in part because it does have a documented grave of a Revolutionary War soldier, Joshua St. Clair. He is buried there. We were able to get him listed on the National Registry, and we were finally able to get him a gravestone memorial from the Revolutionary War that was about 200 years overdue. So we were able to get that for him. And so we will be hosting this preservation project. I myself have been trained by the Ohio History Connections to train others in how to preserve historic graves. So we'll be doing a little presentation on the care for graves, talking about the veterans that are buried there, and then splitting off into teams and doing some preservation work. So we will be sending out a sign up for people who would be interested in doing that. And so that will take place in May. There are many other additional events that we will be putting on. I know I don't have a lot of time, so I don't want to go through everything that is in our brochure, but I encourage people to look at our brochure, check out the website, participate in many events as possible. Our last event will actually be in December of 2026, and we will be kind of closing out all the events by looking towards the future, hosting a big community kind of forum, talking about what we would like to see historically in Maumee, talk about some of the preservation projects we have going on, and then dedicating a time capsule to be opened in 2076. I am going to go on record right now saying that I will not be chairing that committee. Somebody else can take on that banner when that time comes. So hopefully be able to see people attend in December, talking about where we are going with some of the preservation projects here in Maumee. So thank you for letting me come up and talk a little bit about this. You can always email me at the Walcott House email address. I can answer that. And if there's any questions or any comments, please let me know. I'm just excited that we are able to launch these events, and hopefully we can have all of you attend.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
Be 121.
Next, we have a proclamation for our payroll coordinator, Rhonda Ramos. I don't know how many people know this. She was nominated by her peers, and just this past August did win the Ohio Payroll Professional of the Year, and we didn't get a chance. We didn't get a chance to celebrate that then, so we're going to now. And then after we do the proclamation, our Director of Finance is going to give us some thoughts. So, whereas the City of Maumee proudly recognizes the exceptional achievements of its employees who demonstrate excellence, dedication, and leadership in their profession, and whereas Rhonda Ramos, the payroll coordinator for the City of Maumee, was named the 2025 Ohio Payroll Professional of the Year at the Ohio Conference for Payroll Professionals held in August in Newark, Ohio. Whereas Rhonda was selected from a distinguished group of candidates based on her outstanding service and accomplishments at the chapter, state, and national levels, reflecting her commitment to advancing the payroll profession. And whereas her dedication, professionalism, and leadership within the community have contributed greatly to the success of Maumee and to the broader payroll industry. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Chelsea Ziss, Mayor, do hereby proclaim December 15th, 2025 as Rhonda Ramos Ohio Payroll Professional of the Year Day in the City of Maumee, Lucas County, Ohio. You want to fill out the- Thank you.
I just want to say that Rhonda, I feel really blessed to work with Rhonda. She's amazing. She comes in with a smile on her face every day, and she really makes coming to the office a fun place to be. But she is a diligent professional, and to be honored by her peers is quite an accomplishment. And I always joke that Rhonda is the payroll department. It's just Rhonda. So she processes, she makes sure we all get paid, which is wonderful. Staff likes that. But 152 full-time employees and 100 or so part-time employees, depending on the time of the year. And it's just an honor to work with Rhonda. I'm really, really happy she's here, and I'm happy that her peers recognized her as well. So congratulations.
Now I will turn over Committee of the Whole to Council President Fiskus.
Thank you, Mayor Ziss. First thing we have on the Committee of the Whole agenda is discussion of potential council appointment. I don't know how everyone else feels about this, but depending on everyone else's thoughts, I think it may be more appropriate to allow the time to expire on our chance to make this appointment, to allow the new well, it technically would be the mayor's appointment at that point, but she could take the input from the new council to make sure that they have the person they feel is best suited to fill that position. With four of us ending our terms in our last meeting tonight, it seems a little odd that we would pick someone that we necessarily don't have to work with, and I don't want to say stick the new council with them, but we could potentially pick someone that might not be a good fit for that group. So that is my opinion of it. If anyone has any other different thoughts, I am willing to entertain them.
I had a question. Alan, do we have to make a motion to have that happen? Because as of December 1st, when Mayor Chelsea took the seat, that's when the clock ticks down for the 30-day window.
No, you wouldn't need to make a motion at all. It would just, by
Default.
operation of the charter, that it would be revert to the mayor at that point.
Thank you.
Yes.
I agree with Council President. I'm content to allow the mayor to appoint a person that she believes would best serve the citizens of Maumee, along with the new council members.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, we'll let the time expire, and then new council and the mayor will have that decision. Thank you. You have the agenda in front of you. Any discussion on any other items?
Mr. Council President,
Yes, sir.
would this be the appropriate time to discuss ordinances 36 and 37 that are up for second reading today?
Yes, it
Or should
would.
that be 2 weeks?
No, we can have discussion now.
I'm concerned about those. ordinances because there's a lot of concern out in the community about data centers. And if these ordinances are enacted or adopted next, I guess, January 5th, they will have the effect of permitting data centers in 2 of our districts, the C4
No.
district, I think, the office lab and research area, and the CM district.
Ted,
Go ahead.
this doesn't permit them.
No.
Right now, they are permitted use. This makes them conditional, which means they have to come to the city sooner rather than later
Okay.
to set conditions if they want to proceed with a data center. They're currently permitted. And based on what I understand, they don't essentially come to the city until pretty far down in the process, as it is now, being a permitted use. So we're trying to get them switched to conditional so that essentially giving more time and more ability to work with them, more so than we can now. I just spoke with a friend of mine that he's pretty involved in the Columbus area and has worked with the city of New Albany since it was a village. And he gave me kind of a background on this, and I'd encourage a lot of you guys to do the same. I mean, it's one thing to go visit the data center, and which I would want to do anyways, just to see what one looks like, because I'm curious. But to get their opinion, to look at all the naysayers, get their opinion, but finding someone in between, because I felt like it was a very good in-between voice and kind of gave me the background on things. But no, it's not allowing them. They already are allowed. So essentially put another speed bump in the road.
Thanks, Barbara. I guess I had it twisted around a little bit, but thank you for that explanation. Appreciate it. I have nothing else.
Thank you, Mr. Kurt. Mr. Leinbach?
I have a comment to make about the facade load grant item. It's on the agenda. So the basic goal of the program as described in the ordinance 010-2024 is to promote the general good of the residents of Maumee by providing some financial assistance to uptown business owners using taxpayer monies. Now, to me, that means there should be some sort of tangible financial benefits realized on the citizens' investments in these businesses, and that public financing is actually the best way to fund that investment. Now, while this current applicant probably offers the best return to the city for their investment compared to all the previous awards that I've seen, okay? The lack of clear financial guidelines for how the applications are to be evaluated really concerns me. I've said on other occasions that I do not fault anyone for applying for the loan grant. It's very generous for sure. The benefit to the business owner seems pretty obvious, but the benefits to Maumee residents is much less clear to me. There can and perhaps should be a role for public financing of some private enterprises in the city, but I do not believe our current program has adequate guardrails to minimize the risks and maximize the benefits to Maumee as a whole, given that we're using their money. My objections are not with this application. No, I think it probably pays off the loan and more in like 6 years or so, I'd say. But my objection is with the program as it's currently administered. I mean, is this really the best use of Maumee's revenues? That's what we'll be voting on later this evening.
Yeah, thank you. I have a question. What benefits and guardrails would you add?
Well, I would want to know why it needs to be publicly financed, first of all. That means understanding a whole lot more about the applicant's financial situation. And that's not information that's shared with me, that's for sure. And in the evaluation process, it's not on the application form. That's one that I'd really be concerned about.
Well, the purpose of the facade grant is, as we've seen throughout the city, I don't know all the businesses that took advantage of it. I know Dale's did. I believe the Mirror newspaper did. Mm-hmm. This is a building that's on the corner and very obvious and very in people's view. And the whole purpose of the facade grant was to help the businesses that are dealing with the community be able to do these improvements with aid from the city. I don't know how this is any different than what we've already have passed. And Alan, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't this decided some time ago?
Right, I think there was
I forgot something had happened.
I believe there was an original facade grant program that
2023.
that was approved by council, and then there were some amendments to it.
Yep, 2024.
Right, so it was brought before council, a couple different times for their approval. And obviously, the next council can modify it if that's their choice, so.
Thank you.
Well, as a matter of fact, I'd like to make a motion on that front. I'd like to move that we cease the acceptance of new applications under the facade grant program and suspend the current program after tonight's vote. Doesn't affect the application that's currently here, but until it can be reviewed and redesigned and reauthorized by the incoming city council.
So I have some concerns with that, and I expressed those, I think it was at the Finance Committee meeting. So there's
Does
this
there have to
one-
be excuse me a second, Councilwoman, does there
Oh,
have to be
before
a second?
discussion? Sorry.
First of all, to ask for if there's a second to see if we can even discuss it.
Hey, do we have a second? I'll second.
Thank you.
Now we can discuss, yes.
So it's my understanding this one has been, this money has been approved, like they've gotten it. But I do know that the chocolate shop, for instance, I mean, that's been talked about for years, them getting one. And I think I expressed at the last meeting that it concerns me, people that have already gone through the process quite a ways down the road, I guess. I've seen that they've taken things off the building. Like, they are prepping, it seems to me, I don't know this for sure, to be doing the improvements. And I know they've been slated to do the improvements for a while. So suspending it the way you worded it makes me concerned that someone who's already kind of planning on getting the money has started the projects, that rug would essentially be pulled out from under them, and they would be kind of stuck in limbo. And that might not allow them to do some of the things that they had originally budgeted for or planned for. So that concerns me. I do support some better criteria, a better explanation of the program, some guardrails, like you say. But I'd also like to speak to, I know a lot of communities that do this and they have a lot of success. For example, I'm from the Tiffin area, and I spoke with their then mayor about their facade grant, and he talked about how it was so beneficial driving through there. They've done a lot with restoring old buildings and bringing new businesses down there, but I know in particular in older areas of towns, this is pretty common to happen because restoring an older building can be a lot more expensive than a newer building, in that they aren't real custom, they're custom windows, not real standard windows. The cost can get to be a lot more if you want them to keep it to its original aesthetic, and you don't want them to adjust to get kind of standard windows and things like that. So, I think facade grants are very beneficial. They definitely have a place, especially in a historic area, and they help make sure those old buildings, those kind of mainstays, those buildings that you come to love and know in the uptown Maumee area, stay that way and don't fall in disrepair. In general, I think it's a very good program and very good thing for people having. A lot of communities have had success with it. But yes, some discussion of kind of more clear rules, timelines, guardrails, all the above makes sense. But I am concerned about any sort of suspension right now until we get a good update. And maybe you have this, Phil, because I know you've been doing a lot of homework, or Chelsea, or
The way that he made that motion, it would only suspend any new applications incoming,
okay,
right?
Well.
Isn't that-
Essentially grandfathered anything that's been approved.
Well, so this is, I don't know if they've made their application. So based on what I've heard over the past few years, they'll start discussions on what could happen, but don't necessarily officially apply, I think, until they have worked out exactly everything that's happening. I don't know.
It was voted in by council, the candy shop ones.
The candy shop?
Oh, it was? I don't
That was
remember
approved.
that one.
The only one that hasn't been approved at a council meeting Is this one that's on there tonight?
Okay.
And that was an
Well, then never mind.
When they were- Yeah, yeah.
I was just very worried. We've been talking about this for a long time.
Yeah.
But obviously didn't remember voting on it.
Yes.
Thank you. I think you were starting to go down the road, Margot, that there's people have their applications and they've worked through quite a bit of things.
Why I'm
To-
worried about that.
Yeah, that's right. So I'd be okay with, the things that are in the works right now, maybe take a closer look at them, but not, say, you're done, you can't do this, because they've been working on this for months with planners and engineers and you know, the drafting charges and the things of that nature that have to happen. But yeah, there's some things I would like to look at, like how many times can this same business come back and go to the well? How many times? Should there be a 3-year, 5-year? You know, yeah, I'd be willing to look at that. But I think things in the works already, we have to look at, not just close the door on them. And there's a lot of time and money's been spent already on that.
Yep.
So have we had those conversations? Like, I don't know. I mean, I know that we wouldn't necessarily find out about them until they were closer to the final stages. So whoever is in charge of that, because I don't even know right now, to be honest. Like, if there are any in the works, you've been doing a lot of talking with people, Chelsea, or
For the applications that are in, if an application has been approved, with the exception of this most recent one, which was hand-signed by our former mayor, they have to come to council before they are considered approved.
sure.
And most of them, I would assume, would not put all their eggs in one
Start a thing. So
basket and
that's why
start
they
something
start-
and
right.
then apply. So maybe, you know, I get, we don't want to suspend and take away funds that have already been promised, but with the way that this motion is set up, is it wouldn't affect anybody who already is in the work, who's already had the application. So this would be, that's what it said, right? Any new applications?
I did say new applications.
New applications?
So anything pending or, well, I don't know the process. I don't know exactly when they actually put their application in. I'm not familiar at all with that program in that respect. But if I'm a business owner, I've been working on plans and I'm getting ready to put my application in, and then things have changed, that would be upsetting.
So your concern is, say, pick any random store on Conant.
Yep.
You think if somebody has been putting in the work to get quotes and all this, you're concerned that, so would it be, Phil, would you be considered suggesting a review of it? Because the new council still has the ability to, turn one down rather than flat out
That's what I would be.
suspend everything?
Yeah, or if there's a suspension, have some sort of time frame, like suspending for 30 days. So there's a deadline that, okay, this needs to be something that gets spoken about, discussed sooner rather than later. I know 30 days seems like a lot, especially with the holidays. That's just a number I threw out there, but.
Yes.
Well, first of all, the program says to be eligible for loan grant benefits, applicants must have approval of their loan grant application by Maumee City Council prior to the start of their project. So, I mean, if people are thinking about it and they're starting to get quotes, they haven't really made a commitment to do anything yet. I don't see how us saying, no, if it hasn't come to council for approval, if they haven't submitted an application and it's made its way to council, I don't see a problem with just saying, no, okay, we're on hold until the new council addresses the issue and comes up with a new program, gets it authorized.
I do know that there's buildings that have been purchased with the understanding that there is this program out there. So now you're telling them there's no program any longer, so that would be my concern.
That speaks to my point.
Well, and can't you just not suspend it and just
Yes.
put a deadline on discussion? I don't know.
The only issue that I would see with that is
Yeah.
if it's about revising the standards and creating scoring rubrics and understanding the economic impact of the disbursement versus what is going to be provided, that if I were one of the stores who wants to go through the old parameters that are very small qualifications, I would go in and rush and put it in while we're discussing it. That's just a thought that I have.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yes.
And I have one more. If people have purchased some properties in Maumee, some businesses, and they were counting on this loan grant for up to $60,000, I'm not sure that that makes it sound like, oh, all you have to do is apply and you'll get it, as long as there's money in the pot. And I just don't, that's part of my concern about the guardrails, is that's pretty much what's happened. Anybody who's applied, it seems like, come to here, it gets approved. Just not enough rigor in the financial, understanding the financial situation and what the benefits are ultimately going to be for Maumee. I mean, that's why I did say I believe there probably is a role for some public financing of some private businesses. But I think the program is just way too generous right now, and just not enough hard questions are being asked about who gets awarded essentially the grant.
Well, the way to modify it then would be to, put a ordinance on either repealing the prior one, which would take council action, versus just a motion suspending it.
Thank you. I think it's a big jump to think that people are going to spend $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 on a building when their objective is to get a $60,000 grant for a facade grant. You don't know, we don't know why people buy buildings. Obviously, it's to make money and increase their profits over the years, but I doubt dangling a $60,000 or whatever the case may be for a grant is enticing enough for someone to come to the city and put that big investment out. I don't think that's fair. Thank you.
Thanks. But you did say something interesting that I've talked with others about, is you mentioned a pot. Now, like for Tiffin example, they had an amount they spent every year. I don't know if it was 100,000 or what, and then they had a waiting list. So essentially, for budgetary reasons, this is something I've talked to Jennifer about. It's having an amount that you plan to spend on facade grants, having people apply or put their name in, and then not surpassing the certain amount each year. So from a budgetary standpoint, you're not surpassing anything, that we'd already kind of planned for. And then people can put their name on a list and kind of have the realization that if they're not quick with it, it might not happen. It might be a couple years down the road. In my opinion, I think that would be kind of a good guardrail to have. And
I like that.
Doesn't exist right now.
Yes, it does not exist right now. Yes. And I think that is an issue. I mean, talking to finance especially, that can be a big issue. So.
Well, good business for 2026.
Well, given the law director's comment that you're saying the proper way, the best way would just be to repeal the ordinance as it stands and reissue with a new one that would follow up on it and once.
Correct.
So what would a motion do? Because there's a new council coming in. If they take it up as a high priority, that could get done rather quickly.
There is a motion on the table.
floor,
Yeah.
yes.
Check that box.
So for clarification from the law director, so what would this current motion then do? Is it not proper?
I'd have to explore it further, but there would be some question whether it does anything.
And you've already said that it's not in regards to this, so theoretically, if we're not voting on another facade grant, then we don't need the motion currently?
Well, that part would probably be true, but it leaves the door open for the next applicant to come in and say, hey, you've got this program, and our guidelines are kind of loosey-goosey in some ways.
Because the motion was to suspend it for any new applications, right?
Yes.
But we don't know if we can actually suspend it.
In that fashion, correct?
Since it's an ordinance, it needs to be repealed.
Correct.
And ultimately,
Or modified.
any facade has to be approved by council anyway. So if one does come through, someone can apply for it and it can be turned down,
And someone
whether it's suspended or not.
can apply and they can say, well, currently, council's not accepting any applications.
That's right.
Or,
Yeah, as
or
long
just
as-
let them know that, hey, this is not going to be something that's going to get
Yeah,
okayed until.
Yes, Mr. Linebacker.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I don't know how many applications there have been, but it does seem like everybody who's applied has gotten something. I could be wrong on that. the example that Councilwoman Puffenberger uses where, people apply, they kind of get on a list, kind of depends on how much money is budgeted. There could be 10 people get approved one year, one person gets approved the next year, who knows, something like that. But in our case, it seems like everybody, the people who have applied have gotten approved. It's been almost exclusively the max amount of monies, and that was about $300,000 in 2023 and in 2024.
The history of it, yeah.
I mean, it's pretty close to that.
Yep.
And my concern was, I just don't want that to happen like another time until it can really be looked at closely and address some of these concerns about how we actually make that decision. Why is it not $10,000 for somebody? It seems like there's an expectation for the people who apply that they can go for it. They can go for the max and they're going to get it. It seems like that.
In '24, we paid out $112,000.
Okay.
And then '25, so far, it should be it for $95,000. And then this last one that was approved, but not paid out yet.
Okay, but not paid out.
I'm done. Good.
So do you want to withdraw that
Yes.
motion, or do you want to go through with it?
Could I amend it to just move to cease the acceptance of new applications? Will that be reasonable?
If you want to make that motion, that's fine.
Does that carry any weight?
That's going to be the question. And like I said, I don't know for sure because it's an ordinance already that's in place, without amending the program or repealing the program.
I think we'd be better off as just first order of business early in the new year, but
Maybe to refer it to the Finance and Economic
Yeah.
Development
correct.
Committee?
I'm willing to do that.
I'll second. Call the roll.
No more discussion? Kidding.
I think we had enough, right?
Fiskus,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Lineback.
Yes.
Puffenberger,
Yes.
Barrow.
Yes.
Okay, any other items on the agenda? Yes.
So the sewer program, I think I had a couple questions, or I wanted some clarification. Let's see. So for the slide with specific qualifying factors and restrictions for this program, so it says, the property owner will have one of two options for payment for internal work that is approved by the city. It says the city will pay the contractor after the work is completed and expected, provided the property owner and contractor sign a written agreement that acknowledges when payment to the contractor will occur. The contract for work must be between the property owner and contractor, and the city payment will only be, the city payment will only be for work approved by the city and is authorized by this program. I know in finance, when we were talking about this, there was an emphasis on making sure that the contractor knows they need to do an itemized list of repairs. I didn't know if that was something that needed to be in this, or if it's not necessary and they can just be told that another time. And then I was wondering if we had any updates on the creation of a 3-member appeal board and kind of maybe a time frame when that might happen, since obviously we're dealing with it now. And then just clarification on, I know Nancy and I were talking today on the extension. So in here we have it the 30th. So I just wanted to verify, I think John, you might have brought it up too, in an email, whether it's going to be the 31st of January or the 30th. When Nancy and I were talking, the 31st, since people can go online and apply or sign up for an inspection or fill out their commitment form, giving them that Saturday could allow people, time when they're not working for a final day to be able to do that. I know it's waiting until the last minute, but it could. And then obviously the city wouldn't process until Monday, but they could at least kind of put in for an inspection. So I just wanted to kind of clarify whether that is a date we think is the best date, the 30th on the Friday or the 31st on a Saturday. Those are my two things.
I think somebody would have to be here on the 31st
Yeah.
to take in applications then.
We are getting still 15 to 20 people walking in to the actual police station, because that's where they're taking those now. So my concern with it was having it on the 31st is that somebody would come and say, well, I tried to turn it in and nobody was here.
Okay, so just because physical is an option, physically bringing it in, that's a good reason for the 30th. That's fine. It's just something I wanted to discuss.
And then the three-person hearing board, we have to vote this in before we can do that, I believe.
Okay. So then we plan
Yeah.
to do it soon after.
Yeah, once it passes, we'll be able to move forward with that, but as of right now, I don't think we can yet. Or did that go through last time?
No, it was approved last
Okay.
time. I sent something out for review.
right.
It just hasn't made its way all the way around, I guess.
And do we need to have the itemized list, like, in here, more detail, or is that not necessary?
I thought we talked about that the last time we spoke about this, with the contract with the contractor is going to be very explicit, like this is the work he's doing, so there's nothing added in there. He's only getting paid to do the laterals, or he's only getting paid to separate, whatever that might be.
Well, we talked about it being an itemized list so that, because some homeowners might be getting a few other things done because they have a
Yeah,
contractor there.
we already had that discussion.
No, I'm wondering if it needs to be in the presentation. I know we talked about it. I didn't know if that needed to be like written in.
It is in the actual grant application. There's also examples showing of how it needs to be itemized. So in that first step of approval, when they fill out the application, they'll not only say that it needs to be itemized, but there's actually an example in it that the
Okay, so there's no
contractor-
reason to put it in here because we have it in the grant application. Okay, thank you.
Anything else? That concludes.
Just
Oh,
one.
yes, go ahead.
I was wondering if our Public Service Director could speak to 9E. Just get a little background on this office renovation.
Yeah, so in March of this year, we were directed by the previous city administrator to essentially evacuate from the Public Service Department on the second floor of this building, so that when the renovations were made to the administrative suite, that we could kind of have the work done to the Public Service suite, and that never happened. So they came in, our city crews came in and kind of demoed the Public Service suite, and it's been sitting in that stage ever since March. So we have been temporarily moved over to the police station since March, and I would really like to have my office back.
And your staff as well.
Yes.
It looks like a tornado.
Yeah,
hit
after-
Just inside there, wires hanging, HVAC,
Af-
totally demoed.
After the meeting, take a walk up there and
Field trip.
that concludes Committee of the Whole. Back to you, Madam Mayor.
Okay, next we have citizen comments. As a reminder, that there is a 3-minute limit per person, a 2-minute limit if more than 2 people have addressed the same subject, and 15 minutes maximum per subject. Our first person is Suzanne. Please come up and tell us who you are and where you're from.
Hi there. Suzanne Peets, I'm from 7206 Longwater, and I'm going to bring back up the data center. I'm speaking as a concerned resident of Maumee to express my opposition to the potential development of a data center and request a 12-month moratorium on data centers until all the risks and benefits can be thoroughly evaluated and presented with full disclosure to the public. As you know, last week, the city of Waterville approved a moratorium on data centers so they could do some additional investigation. And I'm asking for the city of Maumee to consider and enact the same. I understand the potential economic benefits of data center. I believe a data center in our area would negatively impact the community's health, our environment, and ultimately residents' financial pocketbooks. I'm mostly concerned about the health and the environmental concerns, although there are a whole breadth of concerns that I have. Data centers, as you know, require a significant amount of energy and water for cooling, which could strain the local water resources and infrastructure. Increase residents' utility costs to pay for such infrastructure, and potentially harm our area's soil and water quality. There is a potential for repeated power outages, and by the way, these are all publicly defined effects of data centers around the country. There is noise pollution that comes from a data center, usually mid and high frequency broadband, but continuous low frequency hum has also been proven to cause health effects in humans, up to within a 2+ mile radius. There's heat pollution associated with these infrastructures. There's electromagnetic radiation to the surrounding areas. There's air pollution from fine particulate matter that exacerbates or causes cardiac conditions like asthma and upper respiratory illnesses. There's reduced electrical appliance lifespans for up to a 50-mile radius. And all of this could have impact to our deer parks like fallen timbers, side cut, and oak openings. There's a whole major impact that could be held to that. So I want to urge you to consider these concerns and to prioritize the moratorium so that you can better understand and we can better understand what these data centers mean.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, Jim Koval.
Good evening. I stand before you to share and express my sincere apology. If you remember a couple months ago, I came in and not so politely tried to put some pressure on trying to get a proclamation on political violence. And just because speech is free doesn't mean it's always good. And mine was certainly not good. And I apologize. That's not a good reflection on me. You didn't deserve it. And quite frankly, it was embarrassing. So I'm sorry. I take full responsibility for what I said. It was no secret, obviously, after watching the video that I was very emotional that night. And not making excuses, but the assassination of Charlie Kirk hit me deeply. And what also hurt was what I saw from many Americans going on social media applauding his death. I just think, as Americans, our country is slipping, and that was the purpose of me even bringing it up, and my approach was totally incorrect. Brave comes in many different sizes and shapes. Comes with first responders. Thanks, Chief, and thanks, Sergeant, for your duty and your service to us. Comes in people that serve in the military. It came in the form of Charlie Kirk. And it comes in the form of you, because you are brave. It's not easy being in politics these days, and I commend you for standing up there and sitting and listening to people, some good, some not so good, and giving up your time. You're definitely not doing it for the money. We're seeing a battle between good and evil, and there are many facets that caused us to get to this area. The former mayor brought to my attention numerous times as I walked away that we have laws for this, and it's true. But I think we as a society need to stand up and say we need to reset our norms, not only for new people coming into our country, but for people that don't appreciate living here as it is. Because laws are not enough. And lastly, I just want to mention that I am concerned about security in this building at night, at this meeting. I would just urge the next council to consider whatever it would take to staff a uniformed police officer there. It's just not worth the risk. And I guess the litmus test in my mind's eye, what I would look at is we in this body deserve the same protection in this building as the people that work here during the day. And I'm not asking for any more or any less. But I would make the argument that this might even be a worse environment, and we may need more security. I don't know. But I at least would argue that we need equal security. That's all I got to say. Again, I apologize. Wish you best with those who are no longer going to be serving. Thanks for your service, and welcome those who come on board. And Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Well said.
Rick Hardy?
Welcome, Mayor. I was reviewing the internal water connection repair grant application, and there was something that really jumped out at me. It was the request to see tax returns from any individual in a home of 18 years or older. I don't understand why somebody who is not the homeowner would have to submit tax forms to be qualified. When somebody purchases a home, applies for the mortgage, all of that is based on the homeowner's income. Henceforth, they're the ones that are responsible for everything that happens in the home. I understand when you have the filing of married filed joint, married filed separate, that could be a red flag. We do want to capture what the whole income is of the people that own the home. Any of their children 18 to 25, 27, I don't think that matters. That money doesn't go into the home. The parent, being a parent of adult kids, we were in tough times. We didn't have them contribute to the home budget. That's not their job. That's my job. I would ask respectfully for council, city, to review this and ask that you remove that qualification for the grant and loan process application. Thank you.
Mark Ehrman?
Yes, Mark Ehrman, 306 East Harrison. Just a quick acknowledgement for the four council people that have served this administration, and wanted to thank you for your dedication and effort that you've put forth for the city. It's not an easy job, but I think it's good to let you know that you're appreciated. Thank you.
Richard Maxfield?
Richard Maxfield, 4979 Lake Breeze Lane. I have kind of a simple little message that, but I think it needs to be said. Obviously, agreeing with the gal on all the negative stuff about the data center. One thing that I look at is when I look down on it, there's a lot of real estate around it, obviously. But if you look at the overall thing of Maumee, and what's the positive thing in Maumee? You got the Audubon Island, Towpath Park, Side Cut Park, goes all the way down. You travel all the way this area. Go up from that is the Memorial Park. Straight up from that is the Memorial Battlefield. Right there is the bike trails. They both come together there. So I think it is a huge opportunity on Maumee's part to build on that strength that we already have there from 200 years of development. It could very easily be, say when you drive down 24, you see a sign there that says Battlefield Park. It's an invitation to go in. It's a, come on in. If you drive down 24 and there's a data center right alongside the expressway, it's where it would be, you'd see mile-long buildings that would say, oh no, don't go there, don't live there, don't shop there. It's not the same quaint little town that it once was. Long-term, it seems to be much more viable for Maumee to think about the image that Maumee presents. I could see that area as easily being real estate. I think a golf course would really work there, along with, say, pro shops, bike shops. Part of the mall would remain. Hotels already there. You have the walleye tournament going on. All that strength that's right there would all of a sudden come to a screeching halt if that data center went there. So I guess that's my little message. Thank you.
Thank you.
Eric Puffenberger?
Yes, Margot was nervous. So I know she would rather me be at my son's basketball game.
Never seen her look
And
that
it's,
quiet.
yeah, I'm not looking at her. No, it's 39-14 at the start of the fourth quarter. Maumee's winning. So,
Okay.
and Bennett had like 6 points when I left. So, anyways,
Thank you.
but I thought it was important to address the council members that are leaving for their 4 years of service. Of course, I know more about Margot's dedication than others, so thank you all four, and I'm going to address you directly. All right, I'm usually a crier, so no, here we go. This is what I know, okay? This is what I know about your service. First, you were the first woman elected to council in a long while. You're not allowed to cry. I'd like to think you paved the way for people like Chelsea to want to jump in and get involved. Two, this is one I know for certain. You took your council seat very seriously. You spent endless hours researching. She is the epitome of researcher. And I think Chelsea is right there with Margot. She says it, and I can just see it with your responses, that they're calculated and researched, and Margot did the same. There's a lot of tough issues at hand. You knew nothing about sewers before you came in, and obviously you know a lot now, and you've been very good. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna skip the emotional stuff. But your dedication's unmatched, and even with you not being on council, you're gonna spend a ton of time on the committees and that you've passionately served on. So that's number 3. The Nature and Environmental Committee, you brought a lot of awesome programming that I know that you're going to want to continue. And yeah, you just brought the best to Maumee when it came to those things. Then lastly, you brought integrity to the seat. You always led with your heart, and yeah, and you made decisions based on what you thought was best for the people of Maumee. So,
Thanks.
Michael V. I can't read that last name. I apologize.
Yeah.
Good evening, and thank you all for your service. Mike Vanderhorst, I'm at 1312 River Road, and I would just propose that incoming city council take a look at redesigning the traffic pattern in downtown Maumee, that Conant Street be made 2 southbound lanes from the trail down to the bridge. You talk about the environment. I don't know how many tons of carbon monoxide has been spewed into the air every day
by cars that can't get through. Thank you.
Jamie?
Jamie Dye, 601 East William Street. I wanted to take a moment to thank Margot, John, Phil, and Josh for their service on council. I know there are many people who have been vocal about decisions they disagreed with, but I also know there are just as many residents, neighbors, and visitors who recognize the positive changes in Maumee and the meaningful progress that was made toward addressing difficult and complex problems. I truly believe the situations this council faced were ones where no outcome would have satisfied everyone. Leading during challenging times isn't easy, and doing so in the public eye often comes with criticism that can be loud and personal. I'm part of a social justice book club at my church, and our guiding motto is a quote by Maya Angelou: "Do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better." While I can't speak for everyone, I can say that Margot, a good friend of mine, embodies this principle. She dedicated countless hours to researching issues so she could make the most informed decisions possible, always with the goal of serving this community well. Eric, why did you do that? I also know that commitment came at a cost. I've seen the time she devoted far beyond what anyone might expect of a council member. The meetings with residents, the thoughtful responses to messages, the care put into her Mondays with Margot newsletters, and I've seen the mental and emotional toll that public service took on her and her family. That isn't something that should go unrecognized. This council did not always make perfect decisions. No one could under the circumstances they faced, but they showed up and they did their best with the information and challenges before them. That effort matters. So thank you, Margot, John, Phil, and Josh, for your time, your energy, and your willingness to step forward and serve. There are many people who see and deeply appreciate what you've done for Maumee.
That concludes our citizen comments. Next up is adoption of the agenda. Can I get a motion?
I'll move that we adopt the agenda as submitted.
Yes.
Thank you. I will second that motion.
Okay.
Fiskus?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Kurt?
Yes.
Lineback?
Yes.
Poffenberger?
Yes.
Barrow?
Yes.
Next, we have approval of the meeting minutes for the last special meeting. Can I get a motion on that?
Move we approve the meeting minutes that were part of the packet for the last meeting.
And I'll second that.
And the regular meeting minutes as well?
Yes, as well. Yes, thank you.
And yes.
Fiskus?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Kurt?
Yes.
Lineback?
Yes.
Poffenberger?
Yes.
Barrow?
Yes.
Okay, next we have petitions and communications. Do we want to do the motion before we discuss what they are? Or do you want me to go through it?
Usually those are just the reports. And then
Okay, so that's the Municipal Planning Commission meeting minutes from 11/24/25, Finance Committee meeting minutes from 11/25/25, Finance Committee minutes from 12/2/25, Charter Review Advisory Commission minutes from 12/8/25, and the Finance Committee minutes from 12/9/25. Need a motion?
Yes, I will move to accept petitions and communications and place them on a file.
I'll second.
Call the roll.
Fiskus?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Kurt?
Yes.
Lineback?
Yes.
Poffenberger?
Yes.
Barrow?
Yes.
Okay, next we need a motion to accept the consent calendar before we can discuss it. What?
Thank you, Ms. Mayor. I move to approve all consent calendar items.
I'll second that.
Okay. So item A is a recommendation from the Environmental and Tree Advisory Commission. This is the second reading of the ordinance that amends that commission's rules, ordinance, all that stuff. Margot, what do you got?
Yeah. Nothing.
we made that additional change or deletion from the ordinance.
Okay,
Part of-
thank you. I saw that.
B is a recommendation from the Municipal Planning Commission. That's ordinance 36-2025, an ordinance amending section 1125.10 of the Maumee Codified Ordinances and ordinance 21-2025. C is also a recommendation from the Municipal Planning Commission. It's, again, the second reading of ordinance 37-2025, an ordinance amending section 1125.11 of the Maumee Codified Ordinances and ordinance 36-2023. D is another Municipal Planning Commission recommendation. It is the second reading of ordinance 41-2025, an ordinance adopting the master plan for the city of Maumee. E is a recommendation from our capital projects manager to authorize the mayor to enter into a contract with the Midwest Contracting in an amount to not exceed $180,600 for the public services suite renovation at the municipal building. F is a recommendation from me to authorize me to enter into an agreement with the Lucas County Public Defender Commission in the amount of $7,950. Item G is a recommendation from the Public Services Director to authorize payment to FET for construction services in the amount of $88,405.20, and amend the budget, transfer the appropriate funds, and authorize the Public Services Director to create a then and now purchase order to effectuate the payment. Would you mind discussing a little bit about what that means, just so people can understand?
Sure. Well, the background in this was a crash that happened over a year ago. We've been fighting with the insurance company to pay FET directly. FET's been very patient, and we're still fighting with the insurance company. Not ours, the person involved in the crash. But anyways, then and now, there was no purchase order. There's no reserve of the funds to pay the bill. So anything over $3,000 needs a then and now purchase order to encumber the funds properly.
And we do expect to get reimbursed eventually for
Right.
this.
So this is not a new cost. We're making sure that they get paid.
Right.
And then we will also get paid. Okay. Recommendation from the mayor, authorize the mayor or her designee to enter into an agreement with CCBCC LLC to provide Coca-Cola beverage service to the Maumee Indoor Theater. And I is a recommendation from the Environmental and Tree Advisory Commission to approve the street tree design plan guided by ODNR, which will guide the right trees in the right location for sustainability.
That last item, that was the plan that Bill Burry presented, many months ago, right?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Any discussion on any of those items? Okay, call the roll.
Fiskus?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Kurt?
Yes.
Leinbach?
Yes.
Puffenberger?
Yes.
Barrow?
Yes.
Hey, next, we have new business. 10A is a recommendation from the law director to authorize the mayor to sign the facade grant loan with Martin Holmes Law Offices for the exterior improvements at 133 East John in the amount of $55,867.
I make a motion to authorize mayor to sign the facade grant loan with Martin Helms Law Offices for the exterior improvements at 133 East John Street, the amount of $55,867.
I'll second that.
Call the roll.
Fiskus?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Kurt?
Yes.
Leinbach?
No.
Puffenberger?
Yes.
Barrow?
Yes.
Okay. Next, we have a recommendation from the Finance Committee to approve ordinance 42-2025. That's the temporary general appropriations measure for the 2026 fiscal budget year.
I will move to approve ordinance 042-2025, a temporary general appropriations measure for 2026 fiscal budget year.
And I'll second that motion.
Call the roll.
Fiskus?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Kurt?
Yes.
Leinbach?
Yes.
Puffenberger?
Yes.
Barrow?
Yes.
Next, we have another recommendation from the Finance Committee to approve ordinance 43-2025 and ordinance amending ordinance 8-2025 as to 2025 appropriations.
Thank you, Mayor. I will move to approve ordinance 043, 2025, and ordinance amending ordinance 08, 2025 as to 2025 appropriations.
I'll second that motion.
Call the roll.
Fiskus,
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Lineback,
Yes.
Puffenberger,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Item D is again a recommendation from the Finance Committee. This one will need two motions. This is to approve ordinance 44-2025 and ordinance adopting additional updates to the Maumee sanitary sewer overflow and remediation policy and program and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Mayor. I will move to suspend the rules and declare an emergency.
I'll second that.
Bill, motion?
Okay, call the roll.
Fiskus,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Lineback,
Yes.
Puffenberger,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes. And also move to approve ordinance 044, 2025, an ordinance adopting additional updates to the Maumee sanitary sewer overflow and remediation policy and program and declaring an emergency.
Second?
Call the roll.
Fiskus,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Lineback,
Yes.
Puffenberger,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Item E is a recommendation from the Law Director. This one will also need two motions. This is to approve Resolution 031-2025, a resolution adopting a cybersecurity program pursuant to the Ohio Revised Code 9.64 and authorizing the mayor to approve the cybersecurity program and declaring an emergency.
I will move, Madam Mayor, I will move to suspend the rules and declare an emergency in this matter.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, call the roll.
Fiskus,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Lineback,
Yes.
Puffenberger,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
And, Madam Mayor, I would also move to approve resolution, move to approve resolution 031, 2025, resolution adopting the cybersecurity program pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, Section 9.64, and authorizing the mayor to approve the cybersecurity program and declaring an emergency.
And I will second that motion.
Call the roll.
Fiskus,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Lineback,
Yes.
Puffenberger,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Okay, next we have mayor and council member comments. I'll start it off. First, I did want to say that I do recognize that we do have, this might potentially, if nobody else calls a special meeting before the end of the year. It might be the last council meeting that some of you are sitting up here for. And even though we've only shared a very short time together up here, it's been great to work with you all, to see how much dedication that you've put into everything and how much dedication I'm sure you will continue with. I know it's got to be a little bit bittersweet. It has been a tumultuous few years, but the fact that you stayed strong, you learned, and you continued to get up here even in the midst of everything that was going on, I think is incredibly brave, and it took a lot of guts to do. So I'm sorry to see you go, but I'm glad to have you here right now. Other than that, I do want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. To be sure to drive safe, because I almost skidded right out of my driveway on the way here. And I hope everyone has a lovely holiday, including all of us up here. Thank you. Who's next?
Oh, is that me? I got to go first? Okay. I just want to thank the residents for putting your trust in me. Like everyone has said, it hasn't always been easy, but I know that I've always made the decision that I thought was best for the city at the time, and moving forward. Sometimes it might not have been right, but you can always, go back and we made some changes, and I think we pivoted when we needed to. We were faced with some tough situations and did the best that we could. I want to thank the city staff for your endless knowledge and guidance on everything. No one sitting up here knows half of the things that you do, so we can't succeed as a city without you, and I thank you for everything that you've given us. My fellow elected officials, I thank you for your cooperation. We may not have always seen eye to eye, but we all, I don't deny that any of us, love the city and we're doing what we thought was best. Thanks to my family for being understanding for all the time it took. I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to do all the things I do. I already told the mayor earlier tonight, whatever she needs me for, whether it's a committee here or there, or being the cheerleader for this town that I love to be. I will do it gladly and as often as needed. I wish best of luck to all the new council members. Much like us 4 years ago, you're stepping into uncharted territory with lots of hard decisions to make. All I can say to you is if you ever need someone to talk to for advice, pointers, even if it's to say, geez, John, you did that completely wrong. That's how you did it. I'm going to do the opposite. You can do that too. But I'm always there to lend an ear to anyone. I wish you the best. Your success is everyone's success. And I hope everyone has a good Christmas. Speaking of Christmas, Wreaths of America was this past weekend. I thought the mayor had some great words, and the best part was it was frigid, and she kept them brief. That is,
She did.
That is skill right there. I also saw that the Federal Inn is going to be the site of a movie, which I think is pretty cool, and I thought that was worth mentioning. I don't know when they're shooting or if they need extras, but if they do, I think more movies need redheads. So, and then it's never too early to plan ahead. I already looked at the calendar. Saturday, April 25th, I'm going to do Earth Day cleanup. So mark it down. We'll see you there. Thank you.
Councilman Harris?
Sorry about my daughter there. My fellow citizens, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for the opportunity to serve you over the past 4 years. It has truly been an honor. During this time, I have had the privilege of getting to know many of you, both personally and professionally, and I am grateful for the friendships that were formed along the way. Service has always been central to who I am. Throughout my life, I have believed in putting others before myself. I have served at food pantries and shelters. I have continued to serve within local churches, both technically and spiritual capacities. I proudly served our country in the United States Navy, and I'm equally proud to have served my local community, where through community cleanups, honoring our veterans, and fulfilling my duties as an elected member of City Council, I also currently serve as an officer in the Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association. Now, many of you may be wondering why I chose not to seek re-election, and that decision ultimately came down to two reasons. First, I do not believe it is in the best interest of the public or the individual for someone who holds a real estate license to simultaneously serve on City Council. Serving in both capacities places you under 3 separate codes of ethics, 2 within real estate and 1 as a council member. At times, this created unavoidable ethical tension. As one example, during the deliberations of Ordinance 002-2023, commonly referred to as the rental ordinance, I received a call from another realtor who said, "Josh, as a realtor, I don't know how you can support this ordinance." That statement alone illustrates the perception that I could personally benefit from opposing it. Over the past 4 years, I completed and passed 4 ethics courses to ensure I never crossed that line. In fact, prior to the 3rd reading of that ordinance, I contacted the Ohio Attorney General's office to obtain written confirmation that I had not violated any ethical standards given my dual roles. The second and most important reason is that right there. I wanted to recognize my wife, Taylor, for her unwavering strength and support over these past 4 years. While working full-time as a nurse, she chose to return to school and earn her master's degree, doing so while pregnant, and took her board exams just weeks after giving birth to our daughter. She passed on her first attempt and is now a nurse practitioner. All the while, I was building my real estate business and devoting countless hours to City Council's responsibilities, often researching issues late into the night. There were many evenings when Taylor would come to me and say, I wish you would just give me as much attention as you give your work. She also endured things no family should ever have to experience. People driving past our home shouting obscenities, being interrupted at meals by individuals recording us and hurling insults, and even being told directly that our children's safety mattered less than a political argument. Despite all this, she continued to support my service to this community. To my daughters, Noah and Charlie, these years have not been easy for you either. Noah was just 4 years old when I first got elected, and she has never truly understood what I do here, which is why I invited her to attend my final meeting. We share a special bond, yet I know there were many times that I disappointed you. Leaving for meetings, missing moments to play, and dragging you out at 7 a.m. so I could attend another commitment. If there is anyone that I feel I have failed during this time on council, it is you. Noah, there were nights that all you wanted to do was lay your head on my leg and snuggle, and instead I replaced you with a laptop. You would constantly, you constantly called out my name, and I just didn't hear you because I was so focused on my work. And when I told you I was leaving, you would say, "Not another meeting." I'm deeply sorry for the times that I put my family second. That change is starting tonight. To my fellow council members and our dedicated city staff, it has been an honor to serve alongside you. I truly believe the city of Maumee is stronger today than it was 4 years ago. To our newly elected council members, I wish you success as you continue moving Maumee forward. If I may leave you with one piece of advice, it is this. In politics, there is rarely a right or a wrong answer, only decisions that are more right or more wrong. Finally, to the citizens of Maumee, thank you again for the privilege of serving you. I wish you all a Merry Christmas, a prosperous 2026. God bless you all. We are Maumee.
Councilman Kurt?
Well, thank you, Josh. That was nice. If I could talk to Noah afterward, I'd like to understand what we do up here. If she can figure it out, maybe I can. I don't know if Rhonda's still here.
Nope, she left.
Okay, well, I would like to congratulate her for the record, if she's not here, for the award she received out of Columbus. Rhonda's probably the most popular person who works up on the second floor. A lot of the people who work up there take your money for the water bill or taxes or that sort of thing. But Rhonda gives people money, which I appreciate every month. Let's see. Jim Koval, I just wanted to, Koval, he left too. I just wanted to thank him for his regret of some of the comments he made a couple of months ago. But his comments tonight about gun violence and that sort of thing, unfortunately, are very timely with what happened in Australia and Rhode Island and out in Hollywood with the Reiner family. I don't agree with Jim on everything, but I agreed with him when he says that we have to do something about this gun violence. I don't care if it's Charlie Kirk or Rob Reiner. It's getting ridiculous. Although I understand the Reiner family were not victims of gun violence, still, this thing is just getting out of hand. I am glad to have known Josh and Margot and Phil and John the last 2 years. I appreciate all the advice they gave me. I'm going to miss seeing you seeing all of you up here. But I'll get to know the new members soon, I hope, and we can move forward from there. Otherwise, it's just me and Gabe, and I don't know if that's going to be
Leftovers. It's leftovers, Ted.
Yeah. But thank you, all four of you. Thank you very much, and wish all of you well, and welcome soon to the new members. That's all I have.
Councilman Leinbach?
Thank you, Mayor. As this will be my final opportunity to address the public from this chair, I want to share a few thoughts. And They'll take about as long as my comments usually take, so fair warning. Number one, serving the citizens of Maumee as an elected representative is and has been an honor. I've been entrusted with the privilege and responsibility to fairly represent the interests of those who call Maumee home, and I've done so with integrity, balancing the stated desires of citizens with my own personal convictions. In carrying out my duties, my philosophy has been that our citizens are a wellspring of knowledge and talent who can help us, City Council, make decisions for our community's benefit. Winston Churchill said this about the value he placed on the British citizenry with respect to governance. I love quoting famous people. And I've made only a very slight paraphrase. But here's the quote: "Nothing would be more fatal than for the government of states," because he was talking about nations, but or in our case, cities. Nothing would be more fatal than for the government of cities to get into the hands of the experts. Expert knowledge is limited knowledge, and the unlimited inexperience of the plain man who knows only what hurts is a safer guide than any vigorous direction of a specialized character. Now, I know that's kind of a long quote. Maybe to digest that, people might have to rewatch the live stream. But that does kind of sum up, you know, what I've consistently advocated about the value in our citizenry. We do better as a city when citizens are actively included in the process of governing by communicating their insights about issues that come to our attention. Third, I believe it's important for our city's elected representatives, the mayor and council, to lead strongly with input from citizens and the administrative staff. I'm confident that the incoming council will establish the mechanisms to promote more collaboration with citizens and continue the openness that has been on display the past couple of months. As a fellow citizen, I want to see them succeed. And lastly, while our city has endured significant challenges the past several years, there has been a silver lining. A number of new personal connections and friendships have formed that would not have formed otherwise. I believe these new relationships enrich our lives and strengthen our community. I count myself among those whose personal connections have expanded for the good. This result is possibly the greatest benefit to me of having served you, and I am grateful for the opportunity to have done so. Thank you.
Councilwoman Puffenberger.
Thank you. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the residents of Maumee for the privilege to serve on City Council the past 4 years. I'd like to thank my family and friends, and thank you for your words, Jamie and Eric. Made me cry too. It's been a pleasure to work with the staff and with my fellow council people. Lots of great conversations and have made new friends. It's definitely a lesson I will not soon forget. And it's definitely true. It doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. So, and I'd like to just give a little bit of advice to new council. Welcome in the coming year. Just make sure to continuously have conversations with all staff and ask questions. Be as responsive as possible to residents. Look to educate and do research beyond what the city provides. And be mindful that at the end of the day, end of your term, you need to be at peace with the decisions you've made while in office that were shaped by the information that you're privy to as a council person, input by community members, and the research and information you find along the way. It all helps kind of inform, but you have to be at peace with the decision that you're making for the best of the community as a whole. As John said, I'm always willing to have conversations. As y'all know, I like to talk. So if you ever want any advice or just want to talk, I am definitely open to that. So best of luck to new mayor, new council in 2026, and thank you.
Councilman Barrow.
Thank you. I've been on council a tad longer. Yeah, And so me and Ted still have a couple more years in here. But this council, the sewer just doesn't go away. But we inherited a 39-year-old problem that was just ignored, and it landed in our lap, and we had to do something. And I think the communication could have been clearer and better, but as a body, we did the best that could be done with information in our hand at that particular time. As Councilman Harris stated, he puts countless hours in here, as I can attest to everybody up here. There's an awful lot of work throughout the weeks before a council meeting comes to be, and fielding a lot of calls and callbacks. And when we look at our emails, some people say, hey, you didn't respond to me, and only 3 of you did. There's your answer 3 times, so that's why sometimes, just for your own satisfaction, that's why sometimes you don't get 6 or 7 replies, because council people see all the emails that come in and out. I commend the council people that are leaving. It's a tough job. The decisions aren't easy. They keep you up at nights, and they make you nervous, and it makes you, what am I doing here? It'd be easier just to stay home. Well, that's true, but everybody up here has benefited from the city, as you have attested to, and they appreciate the city and what it's done for them. I personally joined council. I just got so much satisfaction of how our city, or how our children had prospered throughout all the years here, and they're doing well. And I say, gosh, I want to give back to the city. So everybody up here is here for that same reason. And again, the staff here is terrific. Everybody knows what they're doing. And I'm going to miss all the help we get up here. Looking forward to the new council. And I guess one thing I would tell to the new council people in here is, when you're going to make a decision on something, be able to defend it why you did it. I'd like to talk to that gentleman, if he's still here, about the trouble he has with Conant Street, because there's a method to that and a reason why. But anyways, I appreciate y'all, and safe, happy holidays and Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Okay, now all I need is a motion to adjourn.
Josh.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. For the last time, I move to adjourn until next year's first meeting.
I'll second that motion.
All right.
We have to take a vote?
Oh,
She just really wanted to use the gavel.
I was excited about the gavel, guys. I don't get to use it very often.
Viscus.
If we all say no, do we have to stay here?
Yes.
Don't you dare, John.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Kirk.
Yes.
Leinbach.
Yes.
Puffenberger.
Yes.
Barrow.
Yes.
Now, we are adjourned.